A student was rescued from hiking Mount Fuji and then went back a second time for the smartphone, had to be rescued again. We have a Southwest Airlines passenger stripped naked and pooped on the plane seat during a flight, and a radio station secretly used an AI host for half a year. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian inside a closet. Here we go. A student had to be rescued from Mount Fuji twice in the same week. A university student has been rescued from the slopes of Mount Fuji twice in the space of 1 week. The second time was during an attempt to retrieve his mobile phone. This hapless climber, a 27-year-old Chinese national who has not been named. Name him. Why won't you name him? Name him, shame him. That's what I say. And then don't let him hike on your mountain. All right? Because resources are being wasted for what I assume is some sort of influencer. This Chinese national has not been named, was airlifted off Japan's highest mountain last week, only to be the subject of a second search only 4 days later. It emerged that the student had returned to the scene of his first rescue in order to retrieve his phone. That's nice. A lot of resources wasted on this guy. Once again. You should get one free rescue off a mountain. You don't get two free rescues. You should put a sign up too. Limit, one free rescue only. You guys send helicopters. A mountain rescue is costly to the community, just like a submarine rescue would be. Don't you love it how communities have a seemingly endless budget to rescue stupid influencers that get trapped in various places that they're going for the gram, but yet, they cut the budgets of school lunches for children all the time. This is great. We live in a backwards-ass world, it would seem. It says this student, who they're still not naming, I think you should name him and shame him. He lives in Japan, but he's a Chinese national. He was found on Saturday by another off-season climber on a trail more than 3,000 meters above sea level. So 10,000 feet. I mean, we're not talking about, I don't know, what are the conditions right now on Mount Fuji? Are they really grueling? This doesn't seem like a crazy mountain. This isn't Kilimanjaro here. I've hiked a couple of mountains that were over 12,000 feet in elevation in New Hampshire. So I'm not trying to brag here, but it only took me 1 day, and I didn't get stranded. At the time, I didn't even have a smartphone. This was pre-smartphone. I had a paper map on me. Imagine, a paper map. I had a little hiking guide. I was a good little Boy Scout that day. And I survived, guys. I survived on trail mix, and I didn't get poison ivy. Big win for Jonesy. All right, I'm rambling. Let's get back into the story. Let's find out what happened to this student who shall not be named. It says he was suspected of having altitude sickness and was taken to the hospital. Officers later realized the same man had been carried off the mountain by helicopters 4 days earlier. Turns out the climber had returned to the 3,776-meter peak a few days later because he had left his phone and other items at the scene of the first rescue. It was unclear if he had managed to find his device on the second adventure. Well, I mean, are you going to rescue him on a third try? If he did, I mean, what is the limit here? You should leave him up there, as far as I'm concerned. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Going back for a smartphone, come on, are you okay? This is the same reason why people, so many people, they drop their phone on the subway tracks and they climb down to get it and get hit and killed by a train. At some point, just let the device go, save yourself. I think you have a sort of skewed view on the value of your own life, honestly. What was on that phone that was so important? I mean, pictures of his first hike he wanted to go back and get? There's got to be there's something incriminating on there is what I imagine. He's got a search history that's a little sus. Cheating on his lady, and he's got some photos of... But even then, if you got incriminating evidence on, just leave it there. It probably isn't going to get back to you. They don't even name you in the story. I mean, I don't know. We don't even know if he found the device. It says, quote, it was unclear if on the second attempt he managed to find the device. Did he manage to find his 4 brain cells? That's what I'm curious about. The article goes on to say this incident was a reminder of the dangers Mount Fuji poses to inexperienced climbers who underestimate the challenge of traversing its steep slopes. People are urged not to hike during the off-season as conditions can quickly become treacherous. Mount Fuji, an active volcano that most recently erupted in 1707, most recently. It's covered in snow for most of the year, opens to hikers between early July, early September. Many walk partway up the mountain, while others, more brave, navigate the rocky terrain through the night to watch the sunrise from the summit. The hiking season attracts huge numbers of foreign tourists, prompting local authorities last year to cap the number of daily visitors on the most popular trail in order to combat overcrowding. From this summer, hikers on Fuji's 4 main trails will be charged a fee. Ooh, did you know that? Look at guys, we're learning. Charge a fee to hike Mount Fuji, 4,000 yen, which is about 28 American buckos. In a month from now, it'll be 60 American buckos, the rate the dollar's going at this moment in time. Thanks to Captain Orange and his crew. What do we learn about this, guys? There are certain situations where a lost phone needs to remain a lost phone, or ye shall be put in danger a second time. And this should raise a discussion of how many free rescues do you get on the community dime if you're a dumbass. I think we should have a meeting about this. You get 1 free rescue off the side of a mountain. If you go back to that same mountain, no more free rescues for you. Same with the Grand Canyon, same with, I don't know, anything. And if you're an influencer, I'm kind of like, if trying to get the gram photo was what put you in danger in the first place, I'm not necessarily sure you should get the first one free. Like, you should get a bill for some of that. And if you're a billionaire, maybe you shouldn't get free anything. A Southwest Airlines passenger allegedly strips naked and poops on a plane seat during a flight. What do you mean by allegedly? I mean, there either is a pile of poop on the seat or there isn't. There should be no gray area here when it comes to stripping naked on a flight and pooping on the seat. Yeah, this was an activity done in full view of passengers and employees. And then there's a steaming pile of evidence sitting there on your little Southwest Airlines seat. Are we just putting allegedly in here so people don't get their feelings hurt that did it? It's like we don't name the person that was acting dumb on Mount Fuji. Like, these people should be shamed completely. Am I just callous? Am I just too Bostonian that I think people should be outed and shamed when they do this kind of crap? I don't know. Maybe I should get some more information about this particular incident, because maybe this woman just had a complete mental breakdown. And in that case, I can kind of understand. Airline travel is really, really hard on your person, on your physical person and your mental person. Is there a mental person? Did I just make this up? I'm not a scientist. Okay, the article says ears weren't the only thing popping on a Southwest Airlines flight on Saturday. What do you mean by that? Popping? You mean someone's butt was popping? They were... All right, that's just a strange way to open the story. Ears weren't the only thing popping on a Southwest Airlines flight when one passenger allegedly stripped naked and defecated on her seat. Yeah, I don't know how you could use popping as an allegory for stripping naked and defecating on a seat, but okay. Just I appreciate the writer of this article trying to get a little nifty. The station reported that police and medical crews were called to meet this passenger after a flight from Philadelphia landed at Chicago's Midway Airport. Okay, a flight from Philly to Chicago. No one's thrilled to land in Chicago this time of year. I get it, but this is a little much. Were the bathrooms full and clogged? Were they in working condition? You don't know what to expect on a Southwest Air flight. I covered that story a few months ago where all the toilets were clogged on one flight. Did that happen here? Need more information. Don't want to just chalk it up to crazy right now. It says this passenger allegedly took off her clothes before pooping on the seat, forcing the plane to be taken out of service in order to be cleaned. The incident comes a week after Delta passengers had to use emergency slides at Orlando International Airport after the airplane carrying 200 people caught fire, and Frontier flight from Orlando lost a wheel during a hard landing in Puerto Rico. That's the end of the article. You're just giving us other problems. You could have found some poop-related incidents lately. like the one I just alluded to that I covered on Weird AF News. Because let me tell you something. If there's a poop plane incident out there, you better believe Weird AF News is on the scene. Okay, I had to open 2 other articles about this same story just to get some more information. There's not much. It doesn't say why, what condition this lady was in. Was she really having a breakdown? I want to give her the benefit of the doubt here. I know what travel can do to a person. I've traveled long hours, 23-hour flight, almost destroyed me. Now, the airline says, our teams are reaching out to those on board to apologize for the situation and any delays to their travel plans. At Southwest, nothing is more important than the safety of our customers and employees, and we appreciate the professionalism of our crew. Okay, as is with most statements, they tell you nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if Southwest Air uses this as an opportunity to upsell you various items on future flights, such as toilet paper and maybe some new pants. Maybe they'll even give you a bathroom limit and then charge you for extra bathroom visits or something. I mean, in this world, you can see something like that happening. Bing bong. You are now free to move your bowels.
Right now, the Home Depot has spring deals under $20. So no matter what you're working on, the deals are blooming at the Home Depot with savings on plants, flowers, soil, and more. Then light up your outdoor space with Hampton Bay string lights. Was $34.97, now only $19.99. And get the grill going with 2 16-pound bags of Kingsford charcoal. Was $19.98, now only $17.88. Don't miss spring deals under $20 now through May 7th at the Home Depot. Subject to availability, valid on select items only.
A radio station secretly used an artificial intelligence host for 6 months. An Australian radio station is facing some backlash after using an AI-generated host for the last 6 months on the station without fully disclosing it to listeners. Well, I mean, it's a radio station. Probably nobody even noticed anyways. You could replace a radio show host with a Chewbacca and no one would notice until the 3rd or 4th day. Just... Def Leppard. Now, this incident took place at the Australian radio network's CADA station, CADA, which broadcasts in Sydney and on the iHeartRadio app. They created an AI host called Ty, Thy, using AI software developed by voice cloning from firm 11 Labs. The show on the radio was called Workdays with Ty, and it presented music for 4 hours a day from Monday to Friday, but did not mention on its website or promotional materials, or I assume on the show, that Ty was not a real human being. Now, it says Ty's true identity only emerged after Sydney-based writer Stephanie Combs questioned whether Ty was a real person. In a blog post earlier this month, Stephanie wrote, "What is Ty's last name? Who is she? Where did she come from? There is no biography, further information about the woman who is supposedly presenting this show." Okay, we got an online Karen here doing some investigation, just trying to contribute to the culture. Audio analysis of voice clips revealed that the host sounded identical when saying the words old school across different shows. Okay, what does that have to do with the price of gasoline? Now, subsequently, Australian Radio Network project leader Fayed something subsequently acknowledged the use of AI to create the voice of Ty, writing in a since-deleted LinkedIn post that Ty sounds real and has real fans despite not being a real person. No microphone, no studio, just code and vibes, he wrote in the post. This was an experiment by ARN and 11 Labs that's pushing the boundaries of what live radio even means. Now, there currently aren't any rules against the use of AI in any broadcast content, according to the Australian Communications and Media Authority. However, the Australian Radio Network has been criticized for not disclosing that this was an AI on one of its regular shows. And a vice president of the Australian Association of Voice Actors, Teresa, said, quote, "They should have been upfront and completely honest, disclosing that the radio host was an AI. People have been deceived into thinking this is a real person because there's no AI labeling." Well, I mean, if no one knew, no harm, no foul. They did this for 6 months. You had one Karen that pointed it out. So, sounds like it was pretty successful. Although, I don't know if you really want to replace your hosts on radio with AI. It's kind of like, the human aspect of it, the host is kind of the only thing that radio still has separating it from Spotify or other streaming music platforms. So when you take the human personality out of it, I don't know. It's just, you're kind of eliminating the only thing you have left, tying you to your listeners, right? I mean, do people listen to the radio for the music? If they only wanted to hear the music, they can hear music with no ads, uninterrupted, super easily on their smartphone. They're tuning in to radio for something else. It's like this personal connection. It's like Weird AF News, right? You could just read the weird news yourself, but you're listening to me because you feel like this personal connection with me because I'm sharing more than just the story on here. And so I think that's the way with radio. Sad to think that it's eventually going to go away and or be replaced by AI hosts. I mean, what radio does need is more personalities, and then maybe people will listen more. You need, like, what happened to those old, there was crazy personalities in radios back in the day. Radio hosts were like superstars. Oh my goodness, you could go to any event in your town if you were like the big radio DJ guy, girl. What was that guy? The Wolfman was so famous that he was put into movies. I've seen him in movies. You know the guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Hey, now. Oh, yeah, you're tuning into 93.4, baby. That's right. We're going to hit you with a dose of classic rock. Yeah, I'm talking about the Doobie Brothers, my man. The Doobie Brothers, followed by CSN, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And then, my favorite, America.
Like, that guy was a personality. That guy was over-the-top crazy. Like, we need something like that if radio is ever going to get back to any sort of acceptable level of listenership. This is just my opinion. You can't take down Spotify at this point. It's just too much. You got a whole generation that'll never listen to radio because they only want to stream stuff without interruptions. They're just like, next song, next song. This is the whole generation's like this. Next song, next song. They don't want to hear an ad. They don't want to hear any talking. They've grown up on that. So you can't go back after that. I just, hope and pray that my show isn't replaced by an AI. Because you could probably make an AI host of a weird news show. You probably could. Can the AI have the personality that I have? No. But do people care? Some might not. I don't know. These are my fears at night. These are my nightmares. The good thing is I like to hope that you guys wouldn't abandon me altogether. I'd still have a few hundred of you listening in. I'm 85 years old, still doing this. Have a heart attack right in the closet. That's how I'm going to go out.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Everyone has a reason to change. Growing old, heartbreak, a fresh start. Whatever it may be, Peloton is here to get you through life's biggest moments. With instructors that speak your language and workouts that move to your own rhythm. Peloton's Tread and All Access membership help you set your targets, track your progress, and get stronger, making your fitness goals a reality. Find your push. Find your power. Peloton. Visit onepeloton.com.
Well, hello there, my friends, my loyal listeners, my loved ones, my supporters. I appreciate you spending some time with your buddy Jonesy here in the Weird AF News podcast. Thank you. I got some coffee purchased for me yesterday, I noticed. Let's give some love and some thanks and praise. Elizabeth bought me coffee and wrote, "Oops, I'm a little late to the party, Jonesy, but happy belated birthday, Paw Daddy." Oh, Elizabeth calling me Paw Daddy. She says, "Hope you had a fantastic day filled with all the things you love. Wishing you the best year yet, filled with joy, success, and unforgettable moments. Cheers to another trip around the sun." Yeah, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I did. I had a great birthday filled with softball, karaoke, strong booze. It was a lot of fun. I'm still paying the price for it. I don't know what I did to my immune system, but I just can't. I'm having a hard time recovering from the birthday. Oh, man, I'm just getting too old for this, I think. Okay, Lauren Becker bought me coffees as well. You can buy me coffees. In case you're wondering, where do they buy these coffees? My website, weirdafnews.com. Duh, that's where you go. Buy the coffees, weirdafnews.com. Lauren A. Becker wrote, "Happy belated birthday, Jonesy. Thank you for being the best part of our mornings. Always starting our day with a laugh and a smile. You rock, sir. Good luck with your life, man." So super nice of Lauren. I'm part of a group's mornings. It says our morning. So Lauren and whoever that listens to this, thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for listening. I so appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to Norsey Dawson, who sang me happy birthday, recorded that, sent it over. Super helpful. I love it. Also, Norsey sent me the 100 gram bars. So big thanks to Norsey Dawson. Got 2 bags of 100 gram bars. I haven't even opened them yet. I haven't opened them. I can't wait to open them. I'm going to wait till I feel a little better. So 1 bag in the fridge, and then I'll keep 1 bag at room temperature. That's kind of my method. Some people do the freezer, but I don't like to wait to eat it, and that's too hard in the freezer. It just takes too long to bite in. But in the fridge, I think that's the perfect cool temperature on a hot day. A cool 100 gram bar in the fridge. Oh, I wanted to, someone else sent me an email of education purposes. Here it is. It's from Gail Morrison, who I believe is in Canada. She wrote me, just want to say the U.S. is not the only country that sells their old police cars. Canada does as well. I did not know that. Did you know that Canada also sells their used police cars? I had no idea they were as foolish as we were. So look at that. I'm learning. You know, I'm always open to learning. Yeah, if you have an opportunity to educate me on something I got wrong on the show or something I was wondering on the show, look at, I'm not very dogmatic. I'm not cemented into certain beliefs. I try to keep an open mind in life. And I actually think it's one of my better qualities is that I try to keep an open mind, and I'm open to changing my opinions and my view on things as new information comes in. So if you have some new information for me, feel free to send it in. Don't send me your crazy-ass conspiracy theories about the moon landing is fake. I don't want to hear that crap, all right? I'm talking about useful stuff like this. Facts. These are facts. Canada sells used police cars too. Fact. Something that can be verified. Anyways, you can always reach out to me. My email is funnyjones@gmail.com. The phone number is 646-450-2012. And you can even slide into my DMs on Instagram. I'm not against that whatsoever. Please do. It's at funnyjones on Instagram. And if you want to support the show, go to weirdafnews.com and you can buy me a coffee or join the Patreon. And I'll see you tomorrow, you crazy kids. Good luck with your life, man.